Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and well, today I wanted to do a somewhat concept, not making concepts, but just some ideas for some nanmu Smart Series figures. If you don't know what the nanmu Smart Series is, it's pretty much a nanmu company that makes a lot of dinosaur models. At least more recently have started doing another series, which is their Smart Series, which are basically articulated dinosaurs. I thought that this was going to be exclusively or primarily just Jurassic figures and a few other kind of MonsterVerse and Peter Jackson, King Kong kind of things every now and then. But they recently released, not only are they're currently working on, they recently revealed that they're working on a saltwater crocodile, which is pretty cool, and then the Dinosaur Revolution Allosaurus, more specifically Broken Jaw. And, well, I thought it would be really fun to throw out some more ideas. I personally thought that their figures always looked good, but just wasn't super interested in them since, again, they were just more Jurassic figures, which, don't get me wrong, love the Jurassic dinosaurs, but they're done a lot. And I just, honestly, I'm really happy with the idea of getting really good articulated figures for other franchises that don't have any figures, such as Dinosaur Revolution. So today, I kind of just wanted to go through a few ideas and some creatures from different pieces of dinosaur media that would be really cool. I do have some Jurassic creatures, but since I've already done several videos on creatures I want in the Hammond collection, and frankly, again, I kind of want to just focus on things that don't have figures, unlike the Jurassic creatures that have basically a million, I'm going to save those for the last, and also it's going to be a shorter segment. Most of this is going to be focusing on documentaries in particular, since they basically never get dinosaur figures. I think the only documentary I can really think of is Walking with Dinosaurs, and even then they barely get any figures. Most other dinosaur documentaries get absolutely nothing, and it's a shame since they usually have some of the coolest dinosaur designs. But anyways, jumping into this video, we have Dinosaurs from Dinosaur Revolution. I mean, we're getting Broken Jaw, and honestly, I just think articulated sauropods are really cool. And the only two I can think of are the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, which it's pretty cool, but I mean, it's a bit bland in coloration. And then we also have the Edel Collectibles Camarasaurus, which personally I do think I could have a little bit more color, but man, I really love that figure. I think it's just really cool to have articulated sauropods. And Dinosaurs I think has a cool design, and also would pair nicely with the Allosaurus. Also, since it would be so big, I think it could also still pair nicely with some of their other carnivores they've done, like Indominus Rex and T-Rex, and even their Vistatosaurus. So yeah. Moving on, we have Torvosaurus. I mean, it's freaking Torvosaurus. Not only is it the rival of Broken Jaw, but also this design is just freaking awesome. So yeah, Dinosaur Revolution Torvosaurus would be freaking awesome. Moving on, we have Shunosaurus. Personally, probably my favorite creature from Dinosaur Revolution. Also, just having an articulated sauropod figure that's also a bit smaller would be really cool. And I think it has cool colors. Also, is one of the least shrink-wrapped creatures in the documentary. And again, just really unique. So yeah. Next, we have Beelzebufo. I mean, we do have a figure that's kind of similar to this. The idea I kind of have for this one is something similar to the Rebor articulated Beelzebufo that they're actually making. I know that I believe it is, I can't remember exactly which company it is. I have it, but there's basically an articulated Pac-Man frog that I have a figure of, and also just think that's a cool figure. I think it would be cool to have one for Beelzebufo, and possibly even a 1-to-1 scale Beelzebufo that's articulated could also be cool though, or even 1/2 scale. But even then, maybe like a 1/4 scale or a 1/3 scale could also still be really cool. But yeah. It's, admittedly, the coloration is kind of bland, and again, there is a figure that like this that already exists, but still kind of a cool idea. Next, we have the Inostrancevia. I am dying for a really good articulated Inostrancevia. I do think the Dinosaur Revolution Inostrancevia at least has some really good colorations, and could be pretty interesting to see as an articulated figure. So yeah. Next, we have Eoraptor. This would be another one that would be cool in like a 1/4 scale, I think. So it would be like 1/4 the size of the actual Eoraptor. And yeah, I think this thing just has really cool colorations. There's really good ideas for two variants. I know I haven't really talked about variants. I'll try to talk about it more for some of the future ideas. But yeah, starting with Eoraptor, I think the color variants, like the male and female, could just be pretty cool. And then also just, again, Eoraptor is just a nice looking dinosaur from this documentary. Next, we have Saurosuchus. Outside of this thing being literal skin and bones, I don't think I've ever seen a more extreme case of shrink wrapping in a dinosaur documentary. But anyways, yeah, I think outside of that, this thing is freaking awesome. I love the color scheme, and otherwise love this thing's design. I think it would be really cool to see an articulated figure. Color variants, I honestly don't really know, though maybe one based off of Blue Tree Monitor, since there is no other variant of the Saurosuchus itself. And they have done, when doing variants, and there's not like another variant for it, they do often make up their own variants, and I think they could come up with something pretty cool for this guy. Moving on, we have the Istigolacia. Just kind of a cool change of pace. I mean, an articulated Dicynodon is just kind of cool, and I don't see Mattel giving us a Placerius, well, at least until next year, because frankly, honestly, I would say not anytime soon, but Mattel has given us the most random stuff. Why not like a Placerius or something? But anyways, I think it would still be cool to get Istigolacia. Also, I think its design is just really cool here, with the more exaggerated tusk. So, yeah. Moving on, we have Critoxyrhina. I did not do the Mosasaur since I don't really like its design. The Critoxyrhina, though, oh my goodness. I know they did a saltwater crocodile, but they want to do another more kind of simple animal that's kind of flexible and can be many things. Critoxyrhina, as it being a pretty simple looking shark figure, is a really good candidate. Plus, it has some amazing colors. So yeah, Dinosaur Evolution Critoxyrhina for the win. Moving on, we have a pterosaur. Don't know how they do the articulation on here, but Unhunguera, I think, has a nice coloration from this documentary. So, yeah. Also, forgot to mention for the Critoxyrhina, another color variant that could be cool is maybe a great white shark color scheme. But anyways, yeah, back to Unhunguera. Don't know of another color scheme, but still think this guy looks cool. Maybe like a black and yellow one could be cool, though. Next, we have Velociraptor. I'm not a big fan of the Dinosaur Evolution Utah Raptor. I don't particularly dislike it, though. Definitely not my favorite. But the Velociraptor, on the other hand, I think just looks really cool. I like the red colorations and just the general patterns. And it would be cool to have a feathered raptor. And, yeah, they already did Jurassic Velociraptors. It would be cool to do an actual Velociraptor. Next, we have the Gigantoraptor. Not only do they have two variants for this thing, maybe they could also give a detachable kind of neck waddle for this thing. But also, this thing just has freaking awesome colors. Alongside being feathered also really makes it look cool. But again, the colors are absolutely stunning. Plus, there's two variants for it, so yeah. Moving on, we have Cryolophosaurus, another one that I believe has two variants. And yeah, this is just a kind of cool one. I know we're already getting a Beast of the Mesozoic Cryolophosaurus, and that thing looks cool, so I think it could be awesome to get another Cryolophosaurus. Moving on, we have the T-Rexes. This is one of the most iconic dinosaurs in the documentary. Also, this thing just has, like, probably the best, well, at least one of the best and most recognizable T-Rex color schemes in media. Honestly, love these things' color scheme. So, yeah, just like the skull pattern. It's so unique, but at the same time somehow works. So, yeah, it would be cool. Since we already have Jurassic Rexes, it could be cool to have a more different one, to say the least. Also, the juvenile T-Rex, I think this is the only color scheme I like. I think I like this color scheme even more than the adults. And then also just having a smaller Tyrannosaur would also be pretty nice. Despite, I mean, it is T-Rex still, but still a smaller Tyrannosaur. So, juvenile T-Rex still would be cool. Next, we have the Styracosaurus. This is a cut creature, but I think there's honestly like a billion different color schemes this thing has, and the at least cut color schemes this thing has. And I think it could be cool if they used at least some of them, or at least one other of them for the for an alternate color scheme. Plus, maybe give it a different horn arrangement, since Styracosaurus does have a very variable kind of arrangement of horns and shapes and stuff. Moving on, we have the Acrocanthosaurus. This is another creature that is also cut, and you may recognize this guy since it was reused in Monsters Resurrected as the superior Acrocanthosaurus model. And yeah, I think it'd be cool if they did. I don't have the image here, but there is another color variant, like kind of a color variant that I think was supposed to be one that was probably supposed to be used in Dinosaur Evolution, which looks very similar to this, but I think it's just with the saturation turned up and has like purple and yellow on it. That could be one color variant, and then this more gray and brown kind of color variant could be the alternate one. This would be really cool and up there for one of the best Acrocanthosaurus figures ever. Also being articulated, the only other one that exists is the Beast of Mesozoic one. So yeah. Also, here is the other color variant. Completely forgot I put it on the other slide. You can kind of see it. This could be one color variant, then the more gray and white one could be the other one. So yeah. Now we move on to something that's not actually Dinosaur Evolution. The Amazing Dinoworld ones. Oh my goodness, am I dying for some figures of Amazing Dinoworld creatures, specifically Mape. Oh my goodness. An articulated version of the Amazing Dinoworld Mape would probably be one of my dream figures, right alongside the novel Carnotaurus from the Lost World. So yeah, honestly, dying for this. This is probably the one I want them to make the most out of this list. Moving on, we also have the Carnotaurus. I did do a ranking of this, and I do want to mention, I think I ranked the Carnotaurus too low. I put it at least high A, maybe even low S instead of, I think I put it like high B. Changed my mind on that, but still, really love the Amazing Dinoworld Carnotaurus, and think it would be cool to do a more accurate Carnotaurus. I don't want this figure as much as the Mape, but still, think that this could be really fun. Next, we have the Stegosaurus. This guy is just a cute little guy, and honestly, Stegosaurus is just an awesome creature, and it also is really good in the documentary, so yeah, I think it could be a cool design to do. Next, we have something that's, we're moving on to another film slash documentary, The Walking with Dinosaurs The Movie, Gorgosaurus. Honestly, this would also be a really cool one, and plus, the Jurassic Justin figure, which was also made, would basically be what this figure would look like, and I mean, that figure's awesome, so I think it'd be cool to also get another one. I mean, the more figures for The Walking with Dinosaurs Gorgosaurus, the better. Moving on, we have the Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 Carcharodontosaurus. This design is simple, but at the same time magnificent. The color scheme is, honestly, the patterns itself are just striking. It's basically just brown, but the different shades just give it some diversity, and man, would this be great. Alternate color scheme ideas, the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis color scheme, and just generally a green color scheme could be pretty cool. Something maybe similar to the Dinosaur King one, maybe keep these patterns but kind of do those colors instead. Either way, think that this is just a really cool figure, and I mean, this could be a really cool figure, and also I love Carcharodontosaurus, so yeah. Next we have the Walking with Dinosaurs Ornitholestes. This was actually something that someone else in the comments actually suggested, and I do agree, this would actually be a pretty cool one, since the raptors are pretty good and this guy's pretty similar. Alternate color scheme ideas don't really have any, but maybe do what the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Hammond Collection Ornitholestes should have done and make it green. Moving on, we have the Ornithochirus, another pterosaur, don't know how they pull it off. I think I would prefer this one over the Unhung Guera. Don't know why, because the Unhung Guera is feathered and also has cooler colors, but still, Walking with Dinosaurs Ornithochirus, still really cool and would think it could be pretty interesting. Next, we have the Liaplorodon. Oh my goodness, is this thing iconic. I wanted to put a marine reptile on here so badly. I want some articulated marine reptiles, and we haven't got any from any company, I believe. I don't think there are any super articulated marine reptiles, but I would absolutely love that figure. But Liaplorodon, this would be a great one, though. The Walking with Dinosaurs Liaplorodon is just an amazing design, has amazing black and white colors, and for an alternate color scheme, I don't really know, but something blue could be pretty cool. So, yeah. Next, we have the Walking with Dinosaurs Coolosuchus. I'm always down for more Coolosuchus figures, and this is definitely one that's necessary. Maybe an alternate color scheme could be like a tiger salamander. I feel like that could be pretty cool. With the black and yellow, and then just the plain black one as the regular Walking with Dinosaurs one. Either way, think it could be really cool. So, yeah. Next, for Walking with Beasts, we have the Gastornis. I think this could be pretty cool as an articulated figure, another feathered creature, and, yeah. Pretty iconic, eye-catching, and honestly, don't think we have really any articulated, I want to say terror birds, even though this isn't a terror bird, but there's not really a broad group I think I can just kind of put Gastornis under, but kind of flightless terrestrial birds, prehistoric birds that is. I don't think there are really any articulated ones. Honestly, I feel like we need an articulated terror bird as well, but this Gastornis could also be a good substitute. Next we have Basilosaurus. Again, more marine creatures need to have articulated figures, and this thing being so long has great opportunity for being posable. Plus, the Basilosaurus from Walking with Beasts is just pinnacle creature design. Easily timeless. I don't think that we ever need another Basilosaurus. I mean, I want more Basilosaurus in media, but I don't think anyone will ever top this thing. This is just the best prehistoric whale design and Basilosaurus design. I think it would be great to have a figure of this. Especially since none of the Walking with Beasts creatures got actual toys. Only Walking with Dinosaurs ones did. And honestly, one just using this model would have been great. Next we have the Andrewsarchus. Definitely a random spin on things, but Andrewsarchus could be pretty cool. I feel like this design, I know we're getting an Andrewsarchus from the Beast of the Cenozoic, but still would be cool to get one of the more outdated ones, plus this color scheme is freaking awesome. Moving on, we have the Entelodons. Definitely think that this is one that is definitely a little bit weird looking, and also, especially since they're very shrink wrapped in the documentary, but still think they could make a pretty interesting figure, especially with some good articulation. Next we have the Paraceratherium, or Indricathere. Also don't know a color scheme, an alternate color scheme they could do. Maybe make it a little bit more like dark in color. I don't know. Either way, I think this could be pretty cool, and also no articulated Paraceratherium figures. In fact, I don't think there are really already good Paraceratherium figures except for the Eophonon one, and that one is not released yet. So yeah. Next we have the Smilodon. Again, another iconic prehistoric creature, and the Walking with Beasts one just has good patterns, and think that the design would just be pretty interesting to see as a figure. So yeah, also we need more articulated Smilodon figures. The only ones we have is the Beast of the Cenozoic and Cyberzoic ones, and well, honestly, I don't really even know what to say to that. Those figures are freaking amazing, and it would be cool to see even more Smilodon figures. Next, we have Dimetrodon from Walking with Monsters. Needed to include some stuff from Walking with Monsters since I feel like it is the kind of forgotten one of the three Walking with shows. or at least documentaries. And of the main three, this is the one I watched first, so I have a soft spot for this documentary. And Dimetrodon needs more articulated figures, and the Walking with Monsters design is just iconic and great. So yeah. Next we have Inostrancevia. We need more articulated Gorgonopsids, and I know this is like kind of, I don't think it's not specifically said to be Inostrancevia, but basically anytime there's a large Gorgonopsid in a documentary, it's probably Inostrancevia. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to get this thing, and I think I would prefer this over the Dinosaur Evolution one. It has better color patterns, but this one just looks better than me. Also, it's just so much more iconic. So yeah, Inostrancevia would be great. Next, we have the Titanosaur from Prehistoric Park. This one's a little bit more of a stretch, but yeah, still think this guy has some pretty cool patterns, and still think it would have been pretty cool to get a figure of this thing. So yeah. Next, we have the Prehistoric Park Dinosuchus. Another releasing a saltwater crocodile, but a bigger figure that looks more like Dinosuchus could still be really cool. Also, again, I don't think there are any articulated Dinosuchus figures, and there really needs to be one. Either nanmu or Mattel needs to make this. Honestly, I could really want a Mattel Hammond collection with Dinosuchus, but nanmu also would be cool to see one from you guys. Next, we have Crassigyrinus. This is like the forgotten creature of Prehistoric Park somewhat. I feel bad that Nigel never saved this thing. I'm naming it Chase. Anyways, Crassigyrinus, I really like this thing. I made an entire puppet of it, and honestly, I think it'd be cool to have an articulated figure of this. This feels like one of the most random ones on the list, but still would be cool to see. Also, it just has a really cool color scheme of red and black. Next, we have the Forest Raucous. Finally, a terror bird on this list. Again, an articulated terror bird figure would be awesome, and the Prehistoric Park design is absolutely fantastic. Again, with the yellow colorations, I think it's really eye-catching and really unique. I don't think it's as iconic as the Walking with Beast one, but still think that this color scheme is just better, and this design in general is just better, so yeah. Next, we have Elasmotherium. Oh my goodness, I love Elasmotherium, and having an articulated figure of this thing would be awesome. I feel like we barely have any Elasmotherium figures as is, let alone articulated ones, and this could be a pretty cool one. So yeah, maybe even make the alternate, like a female version with a shorter horn. So yeah. Next, we have ones that may feel a bit weird on this list, and honestly don't think they would really make these, but still would be cool. Dino Dana the Movie designs, or a few of the Dino Kids designs. First, we have the Albertosaurus. Love this thing's model and would love to have an articulated figure of this. The Dino Kids franchise don't really make figures. Like, we had some for the Geoworld figures for the Dino Dance series, and then we had some kind of Safari Limited figures for Dino Dana and Dino Dana the Movie. Really more Dino Dana the Movie. And there were a very few selection of figures that were based on creatures from the film. And then there's also some dig kits from Dino Dex, but none of them are based on the actual dinosaurs. So yeah, definitely think it would be cool to get an articulated version of this amazing Albertosaurus design. So yeah, honestly, one of my favorite Beast in the Mesozoic figures is their Albertosaurus, and having more articulated Albertosauruses would be freaking awesome. Next, we have Dino Dana the Movie Spinosaurus, probably the design that actually would needs a figure the most. Honestly, this thing is just really cool. Yes, it's built like a billboard, but it's still a freaking awesome dinosaur, and would love to see a figure of this thing. Next, we have Diplodocus, kind of a random one, but I think I would prefer this one over the Dinosaurus. It's kind of similar, but at the same time, this design is just cool. It's just a good Diplodocus design, and then it has the yellow and blue coloration. It's just really cool. Next, we have Titanoboa. Outside of the Reborn Titanoboa, we have gotten no articulated Titanoboa figures. We need more of them. Or Reborn needs to re-release theirs. I honestly don't know why my chair just squeaked so loud, but anyways, they really need to re-release theirs, or we just need more Titanoboa figures. Anyways, now a good way out of making these slides, I realized something. Oh my gosh, I feel like Primeval is right up their alley and would be really cool to get figures for them. Primeval did get some figures, but it was only a few. I think there's only like 2 waves. And we got several creatures, but there's a lot of creatures that I feel like we didn't get that we really needed, and I think this is one of them. Plus the Primeval toys definitely could have been a bit better quality, and getting some high quality Primeval creatures, I am surprised no company has gotten a license to make some high quality Primeval figures, considering how much Primeval is loved. I know they haven't made a new season in like forever, and I doubt that they ever will, but still, honestly, these designs are iconic. People love them, and I'm surprised they haven't made any. So yeah, the Gorgonopsid, or again, probably Inostrancevia, would be really cool to see them make. Again, I still think I would prefer the Walking with Monsters design, but still, I know a lot of people would love to see this thing get a figure. Next, we have the Raptors. I don't know what the heck these are. I've heard some things saying that some of them are supposed to be Velociraptor, some of them are supposed to be Deinonychus, some of them are supposed to be Utahraptor, or Some of them, or all of them are supposed to be the same thing. All of them are supposed to be Dromaeosaurus. I honestly have no idea. Just gonna go with Raptor, but yeah, this thing would be a really cool design. So, yeah, just the color, the Primeval Raptor is just one of the best raptor designs. A lot of people, like, the whole entire debate of accurate or non-accurate dinosaurs, if you're going to do non-accurate dinosaurs, it's not an excuse just to make Jurassic Park ripoffs, and I feel like if you're going to do a non-scaly raptor, you gotta have a good reason and make an actual interesting design, and I feel like this is a good interesting design. Yes, it has some feathers and plumage on it, but it isn't just like a few quills stuck on the back of its head. I feel like they actually put effort to make the feathers look interesting, and just the whole design is unique. This is how you do a scaly raptor. You don't just rip off Jurassic Park, you make something unique and actually interesting, and the Primeval Raptor sure is that. Next, we have the Forest Raucous, another Terrorbird. I feel like this one would fit their nanmu's aesthetic a little bit more, but still think that a Forest Raucous from them could be really cool. Also, the Primeval Terrorbirds just are really nice looking, so yeah. Next, we have the Smilodon, another creature that's pretty iconic from Primeval. I remember seeing this image everywhere, and honestly having no idea where it was, just thought it was like some sort of image someone made. But then actually when I was watching Primeval and saw this like scene specifically in there, I was like, oh my goodness. Did not recognize that this was actually from Primeval, but yeah, again, Smilodon, honestly think it would be really cool for them to do. Next, we have the Hyenodon. This is a design that I don't see many people talk about from Primeval, but I love this design. Like, this is probably one of my favorite Hyenodon designs. This and my friend basically convinced Hyenodon to be one of my favorite Cenozoic animals just because of it. So yeah, I think this thing just has a really nice design. I know it's basically just like a wolf, but black and spiky, but still, really like this Hyenodon design. Next, we have the Columbian Mammoth. This is probably one of the creatures that I like the most, and probably the episode that scared the crap out of me the most. I don't know why large mammals scare me. Not elephants specifically, really, but this episode sure did. And honestly, just really think it would be cool to get an articulated Columbian Mammoth. I know we're getting a few elephants from the Beast of the Mesozoic lineup, but Columbian Mammoth is not one of them. So, yeah, Columbian Mammoth would be a really fun figure to get. So, yeah. Moving on, we have the Pliosaur, another creature that, like, I don't think anyone really, at least not many people care about from the show, but I really like it and want to include more marine reptiles, so the Pliosaur could definitely be a really fun one. Next, we have the Giganotosaurus. This is just probably the best large carnivore from the show. T-Rex is not, I don't hate the T-Rex from Primeval as much as I used to, but still think it is not the most interesting T-Rex design, and then I do also think the Spinosaurus I really don't like. So I think it would be really cool to get this Giganotosaurus. Honestly, speaking of the Spinosaurus, I really think the Primeval Spinosaurus should have been swapped with the Monsters Resurrected one. I feel like that's a better design that fits more, and I'm honestly kind of regretting not putting any Monster Resurrected designs on this list. Maybe if I do a part 2, I'll include it on there, but Monsters Resurrected Spino would also be cool. But anyways, back to the Giganotosaurus. Just a really cool design. I think it would be really cool to get a figure of it. Moving on, we have the Caprosuchus. I don't like the weird tusk on the side of its face, but outside of that, I think this is also just a really cool creature design that would be really cool to see as a figure. We have the Arthropleura, another creature that has a lot of articulation. I feel like it would fit. Also, I feel like I had a slide for the Prehistoric Park Arthropleura, but apparently I didn't. Yeah, sorry about that. Prehistoric Park Arthropleura was originally supposed to be on there. That's another creature that would be really cool to get a figure of. But yeah, Primeval one also works. Again, it's a really interesting design. It is kind of just a scaled up centipede in this show, but still would be cool to see it. Next, we have the Labyrinthodont. Honestly, it took me a long time to realize that this Labyrinthodont is not an actual genus, it's just a group, and there's no such thing as a Labyrinthodont, at least as far as I can find. I can't find an actual genus named Labyrinthodon, just the group Labyrinthodon. So don't know what kind this is supposed to be, but still would be pretty cool to get a Labyrinthodon figure. Especially since this thing looks so weird, I feel like the articulation could be pretty cool to see. Next we have the Future Predator. This is a no-brainer, and hey, it's actually doing an original design before it got, well, ripped off by Rebirth, but yeah. Future Predator is just an iconic creature from the show, and I think it'd be really cool to get a good articulated figure of it. I think the one that we got before for Primeval was actually pretty solid, but still think it'd be cool to get a high-quality one. Again, I just find it baffling we don't have any high-quality, articulated, like, Primeval figures. This feels like the show that would have those type of things, but it doesn't. Next we have the Tree Creeper. I feel like a lot of people don't like this thing and just see it as like inferior future predator. Honestly, I don't know. I don't see many people talk about this thing, but this is probably my favorite future creature. Yeah, I know it's technically not a future creature, but calling it a future creature makes me feel better about what it actually is. The Monkey Raptor I find funny and think it would be cool to have an articulated Monkey Raptor. So yeah. Next, we move on to the actual Jurassic stuff. Again, this is going to be kind of a short segment. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. If you want to hear my thoughts on Jurassic figures, you can go watch either one of my Hammond collection videos. I go way in depth on basically a bunch of creatures I think would be cool to get in the Hammond collection. And honestly, don't really want to dwell on it too much, since again, I feel like they're already going to do a lot of Jurassic creatures and it feels pointless to just dwell on these since we already have, or we're going to get a bunch of figures from other companies making these, and it just kind of wanted to do some more unique stuff for the rest of this video. But going to the Jurassic stuff, Scorpius Rex. This thing needs an articulated figure. They did Indoraptor, they did Indominus, and can we do Scorpius now? I think Hammond Collection, it'd be cool. Hammond Collection does reverse. They do Scorpius, then Indoraptor, and then Indominus last, though I think we're probably going to get Indominus first. And then the Smart Series did, well, Indominus first, I believe, then Indoraptor I think is coming second, and then they could do Scorpius Rex afterwards. Either way, I just need an articulated Scorpius Rex figure in my life. The Jurassic Justin one was perfect, and we need more like it. Next, we have the Lost World novel Carnotaurus. I don't think I'll ever do a list of articulated figures and leave this thing off. I would love for this to exist, and I don't know if Mattel would give us it in the Hammond collection, but could definitely see nanmu possibly making it in the future. I also didn't really include video game creatures. If you'd like me to do that in the future, maybe I will. Just felt like they haven't really done anything from a video game yet, so it feels kind of weird to put on the list, but hey, maybe I'll do that in the future. This is the only exception to that rule. Next we have the Rebirth Spinosaurus. Yeah, I just actually found out today, I think it was Bloxy's or something like that, I don't remember the company, basically announced making Jurassic figures, and from what I hear, they're most popular for their kind of transformer sets, that like buildable transformer sets or something. I don't think those figures have articulation, but on the image for the like the teaser image for it, they have the a little bit of like Stegosaurus, a little bit of some other dinosaur, probably Ceratopsian, like Triceratops or something, and a bit of the Rebirth Spinosaurus on there, and to me it looks like they have articulation. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe those are going to be articulated figures. Honestly, if so, the Hammond collection is definitely in danger, but otherwise, I think we haven't really gotten an articulated Rebirth Spino, and I think if done well, it could be pretty interesting. So basically, if it just looks like any of the Rebirth Spinosaurus designs, that doesn't look... Basically, any of the Rebirth Spinosaurus designs, except for the one in the movie, look pretty decent. So yeah, I think it could be cool to get an articulated version of this guy. Next, we have the Rebirth Mosasaurus. This is just like pinnacle marine reptile design, especially in this franchise. So yeah, if you're going to do Rebirth, you gotta do one of the best creatures. Next, we have the Dominion Para. Just think that this thing is cool, and they haven't done any herbivores yet. So yeah, again, Dominion Para, really nice. Next, Quetzalcoatlus. This thing is perfection. We're getting it more in Chaos Theory. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. Probably the best creature this franchise has spit out, and yeah, would be cool to get more articulated figures of it. Hopefully, we get one in the Hammond collection as well. And there it is. Those were all of the creatures I kind of think would be cool if nanmu did in their Smart series. This is a little bit different of a video, though at the same time kind of the same, since I have done videos like this before in the past. But yeah, comment down below any other ideas and other creatures that you think I missed or think would be cool for them to do. Probably the ones I would want the most are like the Mape and also like the Quetzal. And also, like, some of the Primeval stuff. I were honestly really surprised we haven't gotten any articulated Primeval figures. And again, really want more articulated documentary creatures. Or, well, just more documentary figures in general. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!